Hi. Sometimes I get really good answers back from these films, and one I had to chuckle to one of the responses I got. Some people have got so much knowledge, I wonder if they've lived longer than me, but I just know by the tone of the reply that they're perhaps half my age. Anyhow, there's a lot of people out there, not many I don't think, personally from what I've gathered, but there's a few people out there who have read everything there is to read about Osensei, about Aikido, Daitaru, and the whole history. They educate me. I sometimes write back and say, you should make a film, you've got far more knowledge and people would like to know what you've got in your head. Anyhow, getting to the point that I want to make, and that is, you might notice here I have a t-shirt, and as I've been offered to teach over the years around the globe, when I go there, I don't know if it happens now, but most people used to print a t-shirt to celebrate the seminar, so some would have dates on them, some would have the organisation's name, some would have pictures of their senses, all sorts. I think I've had enough t-shirts that I've not really had to buy many over the nearly 50 years of training. So I've seen most of the corners of the world, and the practitioners pretty much train the same way, whether it's in Israel or New Zealand. I'm trying to sort of like go from one side of the world to the other. Even in Japan, we're all people and we all see and think things differently. But one of the points that was made, and where I commented, Aikido should be multiple attack and not one-to-one. And I see too many teachers, they might be high ranked, going down on one knee or both knees. So one particular person wrote to me and said, well, I've seen Tamura Sensei, and I've seen, and they name these teachers, these masters of yesteryear, and how they went down on one knee. What I'd like to say is, if I'm teaching a seminar and I'm teaching where you go from, let's say, tate mas to swate mas, that's from standing to sitting. If you do this, it's to teach a particular technique. Saito Sensei used to teach us these techniques. But the formula, or the whole principle that, encompasses Aikido is multiple attack. You're surrounded by attackers. That was the main construction of Osensei's Aikido. So when you go down on one knee or two knees, we used to, in the olden days, whenever they were, I don't know if in judo they call it as well, but it's called a sacrifice throw. It's not a sacrifice to the person you're throwing. It was classed as a sacrifice of your own body. So I hope you can see that, those people who are still wanting to say, yes, but I've seen, Sensei Tamura, Chiba, the Doshu. You can say what you like about who you saw go down on one knee, but there's different reasons, and that's what I'd like to explain. If they're doing a demonstration, they perhaps have one or two ukes, and because it's powerful, the ukes may not be able to just keep coming back up to throw after throw. So they'll use 2 or 3 ukes and they just let one go after a few throws and then call upon another one. And that's not multiple attack, that's doing a demonstration. And within that demonstration, the sensei might decide to go down on one knee or both. That's their prerogative because that's what they're demonstrating. But the whole idea of just going down on one knee because, or 2 knees, well they do techniques on one knee. They do a lot of work in Japan only on their knees. This is for hip development, as I've said before. Please try and take out of your mind this concept of, well, they go down on one knee. That is classed as a sacrifice of their own body. And it makes common sense to me, I hope it does to you. If you've got 8 attackers and one is down and then another one, and then on the 3rd one you go down on one knee or 2 knees, that's when you're putting your own sacrifice in your body. Because they're standing, they're going to be coming in, kicking, punching, hitting you with baseball bats, bars, anything, chairs, anything they can that they can pick up off the street, outside the cafes and that. I know this all sounds very ruthless, but you know, it does happen. You've just got to, if you do enough Aikido, you'll hopefully be able to avoid all this. So, it's a sacrifice throw to their own body when they make that final going down. You should never go down until the last person is down or to take the last person down. But I'd like to add a bit to it. The other day on one of my films I said about why I like watching Christian Tissier, Shihan. It's because I always look at his eyes and I know that he has awareness. I trained with Takemusu Sensei. He had awareness even when he was smiling. He's smiling at the crowd of spectators on the mat, but he's watching everything. I remember Saito Sensei once, I invited him to Cambridge. We had 252 people training on the seminar. We were out in the park. Something caught his eye. He was teaching, something caught his eye going past the park on the street, on the actual road. Someone was on a bike. I had to turn my head to see what he was looking at, but I was clicked into him enough to know that while he was teaching, he didn't stop teaching, but I could tell that he sort of just looked away like that, just refocused in a slightly different direction. He didn't sort of turn his head, what's going on there? He just noted that there was something out of place. And that's what I mean about we don't have the Zanshin when I see these YouTube films or Facebook films. These people who are making demonstrations, they're having a great deal of fun. They do the sacrifice throw in their dojo with one other uke. They're showing what a great master they are, throwing and pounding their ukes about. But they're only looking at the one person. They're not got this wide open freedom. You know, you don't have to be intense. You don't have to be like, you know, paranoid. But you do have to learn how to have wide vision. So when you've got the one person, don't narrow your mind down to that one person. Keep open. You know, if you're doing a Kotegaeshi, this is good because you can see all around you as you move. But if you just turn and you're not actually looking outwards and something's got to almost be thrown at you for you to notice it, then you're not a very good Aikidoka, in my opinion. So there we have it. Why go down on one knee or 2 knees? Sacrifice your body if you wish. I hope it doesn't let you down in a real situation. try to, even when 1-to-1 or 2 opponents, try to watch everything, even if it's space with no one there. Like I said, I've just chosen 3 masters who I know are always viewing. Even if they're smiling, they will see something. I remember in Iwama I wasn't too sure about some weapons work we were doing. So I tucked myself, after Sensei showed it, I tucked myself well back. Really, you're supposed to go in the same place. But I tucked myself well back behind somebody because I didn't want to be a fool, sort of trying to think about it and do it. No doubt you've been there as well at some stage. All of a sudden this shouting came across. Tony! Pulled me to the front. And of course, my Japanese is not so good. He's shouting and shouting in Japanese. I quickly asked the head deshi there, Miles Kessler, Sensei, what's Sensei saying? And he wonderfully, quickly, in the shortest words possible, told me what I'd got correct. And I actually heard that over all my panic, standing there. I was a mature adult, I think about, was I 45 years old or something, but he brought me down to feeling like I was worthless, nothing, you know, a piece of rag on the floor. His violent shouting, but he was my master. There's how much I respected him. And I've always wondered to this day, how did he see me? Because I know that I couldn't see him and I was hidden. But he spotted me. That's the sign of a true master. Zanshin, even when you sleep, they said, you must keep one eye open. This is perhaps for the fanatics, but the meaning, I think you'll understand. Thank you for your time, and I hope you find this of use. Please go to my Patreon site, what you'll see down below, the link, if you click under more, and you may wish to be a contributor where the good stuff is. Thank you. Bye-bye.